Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Crystal, and today we're talking about Jungkook versus Billboard. Please excuse any background noise. I am currently on vacation, but I think this event is important and that YouTube armies should be informed about it. And as always, I can never actually take a vacation. Billboard announced on June 29th that they would no longer count the D2C, direct-to-customer web store, sales for Billboard music charts. This announcement came the same day the announcement for BTS Jungkook 7, a pre-release single for his upcoming album, was released. So, to give some context, the D2C web store on BTS's official music website is the main avenue ARMYs use to chart BTS's music. It is also the most direct way we can buy BTS's music. In a large part of the music industry, these D2C stores are places that help music artists because it cuts out a middleman. Instead of buying music on iTunes or other platforms that give a cut to the platforms, music label and musician, the D2C store splits between the music label and the musician, so essentially musicians get a larger cut. This effectively puts more money in the pockets of musicians, who is the most important person music listeners are trying to support. Time and time again, Billboard makes changes in direct response to BTS. This is not anything new. When Like Crazy by Jimin reached number 1 on Billboard Hot 100, the next week, Billboard changed the rules and disregarded over 100,000 sales of the song for that week. So, Like Crazy had one of the largest drops from number 1 ever in the music charts history. This type of direct response to BTS trying to chart on the music charts is purposeful. A lot of people will call me a crazy fangirl, and you can be skeptical about it as well. But when something happens repeatedly, where Billboard changes their rules right as a BTS member is about to release music or achieve something, there is no other way to think about it. To circle back to the main idea of this video about Jungkook and Billboard, by Billboard changing the D2C rules, they are effectively discouraging one of the main avenues ARMYs use to support Jungkook, but also tons of other fan bases or other musicians who use the D2C web store to actually give money directly to their favorite musicians. By not counting D2C sales, the Billboard Hot 100 chart, which is the main chart ARMYs use the D2C web store to chart on, is majorly only measuring radio play, which is the statistic on the chart that weighs the most. I wonder why. Let me tell you why. A majority of radio play is paid for. You know when you put on a radio to play music in the car, it plays the same song every hour or so? And maybe not even every hour, maybe every half hour. That is paid by the music label to happen. Radio is not locally owned in a lot of places in the United States. They're controlled and abide to a larger company, which tells them what to play and when to play it. Radio play is essentially a pay-to-play statistic. If you want to have more radio play, you pay more. But then, this harms the music artists who end up accumulating debt to their music label, who uses tons of money to promote their music through radio play. A good example of this happening right now is the case of 50/50, a K-pop girl group who is currently suing their label for mismanaging them and forcing them to perform when they were physically ill. If you didn't know, 50/50 was a K-pop girl group that released the song Cupid, which has gone TikTok viral. The CEO of their label had spent $6 million on promotion for the group's song Cupid. $6 million. And that group would owe the money spent on their promotions to the label. They did not see any profit or gain from that $6 million spent. In many K-pop contracts, K-pop idols accumulate debt during the trainee and promotional periods and have to pay it back. Many K-pop idols don't break even until years after debut, or they just never break even and see money in their pockets. Billboard, in this rule change, is signaling to fans of musicians everywhere that if you try to support your favorite musician or music group, you shouldn't, and you will be punished for doing so. They want their chart to only reflect the people paying to be on the chart, because they are being paid. Because surprise to all of you who didn't know, Billboard is a private company, and these charts are all arbitrary and do not measure how people actually listen to music and the musicians they actually like. Billboard is not regulated, it is not held by any government entity, it is a tool of the music industry to control who gets popular and who doesn't. And Billboard hates that BTS is popular. They hate it. I know there were some people in board meetings during 2021 when ARMY charted Butter for 10 weeks straight and blocked Olivia Rodrigo's Good For You from charting number 1 for multiple weeks. All I can say to this is if BTS are going to release music, move your release date. Then after that 10-week fiasco, Billboard changed the rules again. ARMY just cannot win, man. We can't. There's also the way Billboard has released a BTS cover, yes, cover and interview, where they said misogynistic things about armies, were outwardly racist and xenophobic to BTS, and made a ton of bad taste generalizations. Here's a cool Medium post about the article you can read. I don't want this video to be too long because, again, I am recording this on a crunch. Next up, when it comes to Jungkook's 7 release, okay, yeah. This is now an army-to-army conversation. I know with the release of this news about Billboard changing the rules, a lot of armies from different countries want to help US and Puerto Rican armies with charting. I understand that want to help comes with good intentions and from a good place. I don't think any international armies have any ill intention with wanting to help. However, I think anyone trying to determine what US/PR armies do moving forward should not do that. I can personally say as someone who is on the ground, having conversations and strategizing with other US/PR armies, as a US Army, that we are okay. In the upcoming weeks, you will see changes in the BTS Army space when it comes to funding and charting. These changes will have been discussed and agreed upon by US armies who do funding, streaming, and other things to help BTS members to chart on music charts. If you are not a US or Puerto Rican army, I really encourage you to learn about the local music charts from your country's fan base. I really encourage you to learn about your local music charts from your country's fan base. I highly recommend OT7 fan bases because they focus on streaming and charting and have the most knowledge in them. Solo stan fan bases are something I will never promote because I do not consider solo stans to be a part of ARMY, and I consider them to be harmful to our space. So please seek out the OT7 fan bases of your country to learn about the country's music chart. On the screen right now, there's an image of a bunch of countries' fan bases. If you see your country, follow that fan base and learn more about your music charts from there. The reason BTS are popular globally is because armies love them on a global scale. We cannot only focus on one country's music chart because Billboard Hot 100 is only affected by the US/PR market. We need every army in every country to focus on their music chart so collectively we chart BTS high. We don't want BTS to have success in a few countries, we want them to have success everywhere. In order to that, armies everywhere need to work on elevating BTS in their country. Now that's all the time I have. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let's stay strong and continue supporting BTS and their music. Borahe, I purple you to all armies. By the way, we can't go around thinking that's cringe because that's literally our tagline. Are you gonna tell Taehyung that Borahe is cringe? Me and my American accent, I'm so sorry. But yeah, you're not gonna tell him it's cringe. So we're gonna say Borahe to each other. So you better get with the program. Okay, anyway. Take care of yourself, and as always, please remember to stay thoughtful,